to stand on this. President Joe Biden. This is from I think NBC News. I think NBC News. President Joe Biden decides to announce an anticipated 90-day review into the origins of the coronavirus pandemic about the part because of the Chinese government refusal participates in an investigation by the World Health Organization. A source familiar with the decision told to NBC News. Biden released a statement Wednesday asking the intelligence community to redouble its efforts to get to the bottom origins of COVID-19 after news reports raised questions about whether it spread from a laboratory in Wuhan, China. Now, I can already hear the groans in some of your voices, but
yeah,
I do got to ask, what do y'all think about him trying to find the origins of this?
Oh, Lord.
Okay. Who wants to go first? Yeah.
I'll go first. So
okay.
He wants to investigate the origins of the coronavirus because he feels like China's, withholding information or whatever. Well, first of all, that's not a secret. Everybody knows China was withholding information. That's why that dude that discovered it in the first place.
When the virus first kicked off, China trying to pin that shit on black people.
Yes, they did, and they kicked them out of their country.
I was just the stupidity.
As I was saying, they got the dude that noticed it in the first place was telling the Chinese government, "Hey, there's virus though." But then they was like, "Yeah, whatever." Then he died from it. So ever since then, there has been efforts by the Chinese government to withhold as much information as possible. But when it came to things like developing vaccines and, putting up the numbers for how many people were affected in their cases, now, a lot of that information is also kind of sketchy too. But no one really wants to say anything because China is a powerhouse when it comes to the media. If you say something bad about China, they can get you out the cut.
And Hollywood.
And Hollywood as well. So I find it very funny, right, that they want to investigate this thing when for the very longest time we've had information about it. If you remember, Donald Trump had information about it, but he blew it off too. This dumbass blew it off too. So Biden comes in, the whole election cycle comes in and one of the biggest topics was, the coronavirus response and how we're going to get rid of COVID. But everybody in the federal government missed the point that in order to, effectively fight against the pandemic, you have to have measures to protect the people first and foremost. Y'all didn't fucking do that though. It's how long did it take us to get our first fucking stimulus check? And by that time we got it, we were hearing about other countries having monthly payments.
Yep.
So not only did they butcher the coronavirus response, they lied to the people that they butchered the coronavirus response, and they created a precedent to where people can politically disagree with a fucking pandemic. That has got to be the wildest shit I've ever seen in my life. So the fact that there's an investigation, it's like y'all are full of shit.
Okay.
Ain't nothing to investigate.
100%.
Ain't nothing to fucking investigate.
Okay, there's a reason why it's happening. First of all, you're 100% correct. This is old news. Everybody knows that. So this whole news story is bullshit. The reason why he's doing this now is to save face because Rand Paul drug him through the mud during a hearing about it. And he exposed the fact that this is what I was saying earlier about we paid for it when we were talking about the PPP loans. We paid for it. He was using our tax money to fund gain of function, which is weaponizing diseases so they could find a cure for it. He was doing this. Not only that, Fauci himself he was mentioning coronavirus since 2018. And this thing didn't hit till the end of 2019 and hit us harder in 2020 in March. Not only that, for a correction, the orange guy, he wanted to close off all travel from China when this started happening. When he did that, every single Pelosi, Schumer, all of them were calling him xenophobic racists for doing that. But he knew what was going down and he tried to stop it. They're like, no, you're being racist, but we can all. And there's even footage of that time where Pelosi's all in Chinatown saying, look, we don't have to wear masks, blah, 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 and all that. No, these people are fine. They're not bringing this over. And they're just, all this mind control shit they're putting in. Then when he backed off, it was like, all right, we'll leave it open, blah, blah, blah. Then it really hit. It became his fault. Now we're moving on to again, back to the investigation. Like I said, is because they basically exposed Fauci. And now you notice right after they exposed him, not a day later, the lockdowns are stopped. We don't need to wear masks anymore in the stores. What happened? You're a hard body on this. What happened? Because you got questioned and you could not lie your way out of it because you know you're behind it. He kept lying. He kept saying, no, we don't fund it. We don't fund it. Then Rand Paul asked him a question and he was like, well, the reason we funded that was because I was like, oh, I had to stop the video and rewind because I was like, wait, you just said you had no involvement and you did not fund it. Then when Rand Paul got in it and mentioned something specific, you said, oh, well, the reason why is because of this. And that's how we caught him in a lie. Day later, lockdown's done. You don't have to wear a mask if you don't want to. He's just saving face, and they're trying to make this slave owner look like the good guy. Mind you, he's the one that kept saying, wear the mask, wear the mask, wear the mask. Even after he got vaccinated, he's wearing the mask all day, every day, even on a Zoom call.
Go get daddy.
He's the only one on a Zoom call, like 40 people, and he's the only one with the mask on. What's that saying? He knows what this is about. He's just trying to keep us under lock and key. But now that everything's been exposed, he has to be like, oh, let's do an investigation on this. No, you know what this was about. Don't play. And we all know. Like the Chinese lady who came out she came out on Fox after that. Her Twitter was shut down. You didn't hear from that woman again. And she's the one, she blew the whistle on the whole thing months ago. And she disappeared. Where is she?
Come to think of it, I've never heard from her again. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. And not only, I forgot to mention that CCP, like you mentioned before, we already know about his son's laptop and stuff like that. And it exposed his dealings with Ukraine and China. So he cannot act all oblivious to, oh, China was behind this, we have to investigate. No, you already know this. This was part of the plan. Don't tell me they didn't tell you this was going to happen soon. You know how much money you get from them? They whispering in the air to this day. The CCP. And now, and I will also follow, like, remember, I mentioned Hollywood earlier, same thing. Everybody in Hollywood's pushing vaccine, pushing masks. Yep. And if you're an actor in Hollywood and you say something, watch you lose your check mark, your blue check mark, or not be seen in a movie again. So this is just him just saving face, yo. He's like, so for the people who don't know, could be like, oh, he's doing something about it. He's gonna be the hero of the story. Who should be the hero is that lady who disappeared.
Sorry.
Yo.
Ray D-Wolf was spitting tonight.
Huh?
Yeah. If you go to my Instagram, I've been complaining about this since day one because it's the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen. Like, there's this moment when we went to Starbucks when there was during the beginning of the lockdown. So I was forced to use the drive-thru. And they want you to take your mask off while you're in your car. All right? But you can hold money that I give you. Okay. Right? Money's more dirt. It's dirtier than anything, but you could take that from my hand.
It really is.
Not only what made it worse, you know what air curtains are? You usually have them in restaurants, that big that fan that like blows down so flies don't come in when you open a door.
Yeah.
And so the window had that. So nothing I breathe out is gonna hit you anyway. But you want to stay there and hide. The worst part is when I'm telling them, I'm in my car, we talking about, you got an air curtain. What you're about to take my card and you're telling me you put my mask on to do this exchange? What's going on here? And she said, oh, I got to talk to my manager. You know those doors in the drive-thru open and close automatically? She's so shook by this. She's following the door behind as it opens and closes. That's how bad it is. Oh, my God. I'm like, this is mind control, yo. This ain't even. I'm not. And when I say this, I have to keep reiterating. When I'm saying this virus is real. I'm not saying this ain't real because I caught it and I felt all of it. Like there are people who are lucky who just don't feel shit. I felt everything that the worst people have complained about. I felt it, so I know the shit's real. But people need to understand that this was a weapon. This ain't no accident, no fucking lab. This is built for control. And now we're in the fallout.
That shit. I was in a hospital for like a week and shit.
It's no joke. It is no joke, yeah.
Okay.
God damn, man. I'm sorry, everybody. You know, you gotta bring the whole family.
Milk.
Damn.
I'm dying over here.
That's Constance and the baby playing. The baby girl's yelling at her now.
Oh my god.
Kids aren't they adorable? Krista, you have anything to say?
No, I'm too busy laughing. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna just say this because all y'all hit the nail on the head. Is just damn, I think I lost track. It was about Biden. We were talking about Biden, right?
Yeah. Trying to investigate.
Okay, all right. My apologies, people. Yeah, no shit. I knew about even when Trump was in office and like at the earlier 2019, I already knew that this COVID thing was a problem. And this is the one thing I did agree with Trump. And I'm not the biggest Trump supporter, nor I support Trump at all, but like when he said he wanted to shut down the borders, I agreed with him because I wouldn't want that in this state either. So I don't know why people are just like, oh no, if I don't know anything about a virus and it's really fucking people up, I would close the border going to and from there. I don't understand why like people was arguing about that. I think that's like the safest thing you could do because obviously you see what has happened in this country. So the fact that I don't even know why Biden's even like spending time on this because I think most of those people that know about it know where it came from. Is like what is like, and we all know that Chinese has the secrets, but it's just like you find out and then what? and then what? It's just like, oh, you did
lock yourself up?
Yeah, I was about to
they
say
lock themselves up. Yeah,
it's like I did a thing. It's just like we didn't ask for this. It's just like we didn't ask for this. It's just the fact that it took this long to like COVID's been out for like at least a year now, a year plus, and most people still don't know like how to fight it or the symptoms in it. Because when I was going through the hospital, when I was in a hospital for it, it seems like they didn't know. Like all they just said is I had COVID, but there was nothing special. Like they didn't give me no specifications about it, nor they didn't know. It's like there's hundreds of people that come through this hospital. Y'all don't y'all at least pick something up, but it seems like no one knew. So
it's fun.
Well,
it's
not
funny
only
they don't know. Go ahead.
It's not only that; it's the fact that, as you know, in the Black community, anytime a person of color go to the hospital, they don't really analyze the symptoms the way that they should, and they don't really run the tests as they should. I've worked in a hospital before and I see the major differences just based off of the race alone. So it's not that they don't know what to do. They're not doing everything that they can to help you.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny you do say that because when I was in the hospital, all I wanted was some information and it seemed like none of them knew. Yeah. And one person told me, them. And then it was just like none of them knew the information. It was just like, I just want to know. It's like I'm not even asking for much, but the information was